The Blue Hills is an amazing place for taking your dog, but according to Melissa Nelson, you'll enjoy it a lot more if you follow a few easy tips. I'm Judy Lara Jacobs, the Executive Director of the Friends of the Blue Hills, and I'm here with Melissa Nelson and her walking companion, Bella.
Yes. Hi, everyone.
If you have walked in the Blue Hills, please let us know in the comments, and if you have any tips that you'd like to share as well, we'd love to see them. This is Blue Hills Alive, your weekly guide to the Blue Hills. And we'd like to thank our sponsor, Tom O'Neill of Success Realty in Milton. And let's start. So do you want to start out by introducing yourself and Bella?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Melissa Nelson here. I live in Stoughton, Mass. Yay, Stoughton. We've had Bella since last February, and she is a rescue dog that came out to us from Tennessee, and we've really been loving hiking in the Blue Hills. We've been doing it since about August, and I would highly recommend it.
That's fun. So where are your favorite places to hike in the Blue Hills?
We're actually at one of them right now. One of the first hikes that we took together, Bella and I, was right in this area. We're in the Chickatawbut area, right off Chickatawbut Road. You may hear some traffic noise, but once you get in the woods, it really kind of disappears, and it's wonderful. Another one that we really love is Ponkapog. Very flat, very easy to take your dog on. I think it's about 4 miles all the way around. That's very close to Stoughton, so it's very convenient for us. But she loves everything. She loves the really steep trails, Skyline Trail. We've been doing some of that. Red dot trails, which tend to be a little bumpier, a little hillier. We love those too, so we've been all over.
That's great. So if you have favorite trails that you like to take, where you like to take your dog, please let us know. We'd love to know your favorite spots. And this is Braintree Path, where we're starting out. So you might want to check it out. It is a pretty place to start out from.
Yep.
Are there things that you do to prepare?
Yes. Well, we got Bella in February. She was still a puppy, so we didn't want to get her out and about on the trails too early. And I would say that's my biggest piece of advice, is just get to know your dog, determine what their temperament is, how do they handle being outside on a leash in an unfamiliar area, how do they interact with other dogs. Horses are allowed on a lot of trails, so you really have to be aware of how your dog is going to handle large animals like that. And then preparation for hiking is really just like anything you would do for yourself. Pay attention to the weather. For Bella, I tend to bring along a water bowl, some snacks, obviously waste disposal bags in case something happens along the trail. But really, it's just a lot of preparation mentally. I have my little kit here that contains bits and pieces, the food and all of that. So that's how we get ready.
When you walk on paths with bikers or horseback riders, are there things that you think about?
Yes, I always try to pay close attention to our surroundings, just because I don't think bikers, dogs, hikers, horseback riders, no one handles kind of surprise visits from dogs very well. So it's good to be aware. I always pull her in close. You can see I have like a 6-foot leash here. I usually have her heel when we get within sight of, say, a horse, a biker. Even the trail runners, they're moving at such a faster pace than us that I don't want to get in their way and kind of trip them up. And if you have a friendly dog like Bella is, she'll want to run right up to people and say hello, and that can throw people off balance.
Sweet. So do you want to touch on rules? People get excited about some of the rules that for dogs in the Blue Hills.
Well, I mentioned leash, so that's a big one. That's not to say you might not see a few rebels out there who don't have their dogs leashed, but it's really important, especially when you're on a trail that's fairly heavily trafficked. So, for example, if you're going up the Red Dot Trail to get to Big Blue, there are a lot of kids. There are a lot of little kids, kind of high traffic. It's a super fun hike, and we've done it a lot. But the leash really helps me control her, keep her out of trouble, and make people feel comfortable. So that's the big one. In terms of other rules, that's really the biggest one. I mean, I personally have weather-related rules. So today it's in the high 20s, fairly windy. This is probably as cold as it would be when I would take her out. It's different if there's no wind. It's different if it's, 35 degrees out and a little breeze, but weather is a big one with me, as is the trails themselves. Are they covered with snow? Is there a lot of ice? I personally bring some spikes with me just in case we reach a part of the trail and it's super slippery. So you really have to pay attention to that as well. But
great. So people often have very strong feelings about what people should and shouldn't do with their dog in the Blue Hills. So please let us know in the comments if you have any suggestions for that you do or that you suggest for other people. I wanted to ask you about if you do anything in particular to prepare for meeting other dogs.
I think a lot of that preparation has to happen before you even hit the trail. So I mentioned earlier that you really need to get to know your dog's temperament. Bella is very submissive around other dogs, so I don't worry about her being the aggressor. I don't know that about other dogs. There could be situations where there are dogs that are used to ruling the roost and they approach, say, my dog a little more aggressively. I'm not worried about her, but you have to think about them. That's really the big thing. Know your dog. Don't assume that other dogs are super friendly. A lot of the rules that you would, say, use for a small child, don't ever go up to a dog and just automatically try to pet it, even if the owner says it's okay. Just be wary. Friendly but wary, I would say.
Great. And are there, Cameron, are there questions? No? Great. So do you have any other thoughts or comments you want to let people know about?
I think the big thing I would say is just get out here. It is a wonderful place to not only exercise your dog, but get yourself some exercise too. The variety of trails is really amazing. The one we're on right here is on a slow incline, but it has dips, it has turns, it has flat spots. Get to know the Blue Hills map. It took me a long time to realize that the contour lines indicate a hill. So if you have a dog that's older and may not be able to handle hills quite as well as, say, a young dog like Bella, know the trail map, but just come out here. It's wonderful. I can't speak highly enough of it, honestly.
Great. Well, that's fun. Great. So thanks, Melissa.
You're welcome.
And thank you for watching Blue Hills Alive, sponsored by Tom O'Neill from Success Realty in Milton. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and we'll get back to you. And we just love to hear your comments. I'm sure people with dogs have lots of things to say about walking in the Blue Hills with their dog. And if you'd like to get weekly updates about Blue Hills Alive, just sign up at friendsofthebluehills.org/video. And we'll see you next Thursday at noon.